We are live. It's me, Helen, and Sarah talking about it's big book launch day.
Yeah, man.
That's my little fanfare for you. How you feeling?
I love this fanfare. I'm a big fan of it.
A fan of the fanfare. How are you feeling today, Sarah?
Oh, it's weird, but very, very cool. Really, really excited. The weirdest thing was when it arrived in the post and it was like an actual book with my name on it. I'm really excited, and I'm just incredibly overwhelmed by the just amazing support that everyone's given me on it. It's been amazing morning, really good.
I love that. So Sarah's also a client of ours, and you were waving that book in the meeting yesterday, even though we weren't even talking about the book, but she was just waving it because she's so excited to have it and hold it and wave it. I love it. And so I wanted to go live today to talk about what's the book about. Like my friend Sarah, the author, talk to me. What's the book?
That's so weird. So the book is about how to engineer your money better using low risk debt and investing techniques. And I wrote it because I've been in loads of debt, and I didn't make good choices with money because I didn't understand money. And I think most of us grow up being programmed that having money is a bad thing. Money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow trees. All of these things that we hear as kids. And it took a long time to deprogram that in my life, and then understand that putting your money to work isn't as difficult as most people think it is. It isn't as frightening and isn't as complex. So I wrote the book to just normalize the conversation about money. I think we should talk about it more. I think we'll make more. And I think, the world will be happier.
I love this because, as you know, I'm a big money fan. I love having money. It's my favorite thing, right? I love having money. I love making money. I love looking at money. I just love my money apps, looking at the money.
Yeah.
Even numbers. I like looking at the money. I like understanding the money. But I have definitely over the years gone a bit left into my money mindset, woo-woo, it's a lot, doing all the spiritual stuff and the tapping and the energetics and the mindset, my magical checks and my money altar and all that, which is great. I love it. I also know that I need to be on the right side and the practical stuff and the technical stuff and blew my mind when I first opened and started putting money into a long-term savings account. Now I know I'm just going to talk slowly for people like me. Before I did it, I was like, what is this long-term savings account that I can't just get my money out? I put it in there, and next thing I knew, there was 25 grand in there. It was kind of by stealth. It was really, I was kind of like
by accident.
By accident, painlessly. Now that's all gone because when I moved into the house, Stu and I were digitally going under the sofa. We were that's it. Everything's coming out, all the crypto, which was, I want to bet a £500 bet, and I put it all in crypto, and that went up and down like an absolute, jumper. But when I decided I had to take it out, I just took all that out. And then I had other things, had ISAs and stuff like that. And I had, what else did I have when I was looking for all of my money? I got a little gold bar. It's tiny, Sarah. It's the size of my thumbnail. I couldn't stop laughing when I got it because someone was like, you should invest in gold. I was like, right, I'll invest in gold. And I was like, do you want a gold coin or a gold bar? I was like, obviously a gold bar.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. I was imagining, like a Toblerone sized thing. And it's literally the size of my thumbnail. I was like, oh, that's so
don't
cute.
Lose it.
I've not lost it. It's in the safe. But I was like, oh, that's so cute. But I remember getting it and rolling around laughing because I was expecting it at least to be heavy. Anyway, so I've been on a bit of a weird journey. I've made a lot of money. I've spent a lot of money. I've invested a fair bit of money. And then I've invested it all into my massive house.
Yep.
So I can't get out that money anymore. It's in the walls.
Yep.
So I'm kind of almost not back to square one, but almost in a what we're doing now. So I've got I don't know why I'm now looking for investment advice of you, but now I've got this what's it called? I read about it and I was like, oh, I'll do that. It's like a sort of, I want to retire at this age. So you put the money in to hit that kind of thing. Not a pension. I mean, there's something, I've got a pension. This is on top of that. This is this long term. Hargreaves Lansdale thing. Anyway, so I've got that. I've got some bits and bobs, but I'm basically back at the beginning. So I was kind of excited to read the book.
And I'm excited for you to read the book. I think, like, yeah, when I came to your house and we talked about like the different things that I do as a person, and one of the things you said to me was, I don't want to hear you talk about business. I want to hear you talk about money.
Yes.
And it was the time, like I was in the middle of writing the book at the time, and I guess for me, I was actually like, and again, I'm sure people will understand this. I had all the imposter syndrome stuff going on, like, should I do it? What if it's shit? What if no one reads it? What if no one buys it? Blah, 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 all of the stuff. And I thought, you know what? I've just got to write it because I know some stuff about money, and I know it because I made it my business to learn it, because I struggled so much with money, and I've made like a vow to myself that wasn't going to be my life. And like you, I invest all my money. So actually, cash flow wise, I haven't got like loads of cash just ready to be spent. It's in businesses, or it's in houses, or it's in, other things, crypto, all of the different things that we do. But I think what a lot of people think is that you have to have made a lot of money to be able to get started. And they look at people like you, people like me, and they think, oh, well, it's all right for them because they've got loads of money. They've got a big business. They've done all of that. But what about me if I'm in a job that's paying minimum wage, and I've got kids and all the things? How can I get started? And that really is why I wrote the book, is to help just normal people, low income, middle income people, to learn the same techniques that wealthy people are using, but so that they can apply it in their real world rather than having to wait to invest. Like, you don't have to be rich to invest. Investing will make you rich. And that, when you flip that on its head and you actually just get started, that's what makes the biggest difference, because you've then got the power of compounding over time.
Yes. And this is like, it's almost like, oh, when you find out the big secret, you're like, why aren't I 12?
Yes. Why didn't someone tell me this when I was a kid?
Yeah. So I now know the secret of compound interest. So Katie, my daughter, some of you will watch and will know her, that she's got this amazing business where she does the LinkedIn growth for you. She's got lots of clients. She's earning decent money, 2 to 3 grand a month. So she doesn't need to work outside of that. That is work, right? That's her business. And when I was setting up her accounts, I was like, and this is your money box account. And this is the £50 a week that goes into it. And then every once a month, this is the £100 that goes into it. That's all you need to know. Just make sure there's money to go in. You don't touch it. She doesn't even know our logins. I was like, I've set it all up for her. Like, obviously she probably would be able to get into them because she's 18. But do you know what I mean? I was like, that is non-negotiable. You just say that. And so the next time you look at it, when you're 25, when you're 35, when you're 45, it'll have grown. And she was fine with that. When I was 18, I was like, no, I need that £50 to spend on like booze and fags and like going out. But she was kind of like, okay, yeah. I sort of made it a bit of a non-negotiable, and I'll do exactly the same for Megan. And I think
that just demonstrates is that we are all a product of our upbringing, right? So because you are where you are in your life financially and with business and the woo stuff and the practical stuff and the combination of all those things, your mindset's changed. And so they see that version, and that's the lessons that they'll take into, and it's the money mindset that they'll take into their adulthood. Whereas like for me, my messaging that I was kind of programmed with was all like, there's just not enough. Like, money's not abundant, and actually money is abundant. You just have to be all right with having it. One of the chapters in the book that I've written is like scenarios around how to, like, if you had a baby and from day one when they were born to the day that they were 30, how much money you need to invest for them to be able to like hand them the keys to a house on the day that they're 30 without them having to get debt and all the things. And I think like most people think that that's not possible. So most people are putting £25 a month or £50 a month in a savings account for their kids for when they get older. Actually, a savings account is in a bank and it's reducing every day because of inflation. Right? The value of that money is actually going down. It makes absolutely no sense to leave money in a savings account. Whereas if you took the same money, didn't adjust anything, whether it's £1 a month or £1,000 a month, it doesn't matter, just the same money, and you put it into a low risk like investment fund that it doesn't need to be actively managed or like just like P500 or something like that, that money is going to be worth way more money because it's going to go up in value over time. Yes, it will fluctuate. That's investing. But the trends are that the markets go up over time. And if you want to leave it for like 30 years, from the day they're born to the day they're 30, I know if my parents had handed me £1 million on my 30th birthday, life would have been really different for me now. And all that would have taken was them starting from day one, the day I was born, to just invest the bit that they were putting into savings anyway. And just most people don't know that.
No, this is it. Most people don't know that. People are very like, you have a pension, you know, you buy a house, and that's it. And you go on holiday twice a year if you're lucky, once a year, not. And that's kind of it, right? So I think this is a real mindset shift from that. And one of the things I learned from you, which was really exciting, was about shares, stocks or shares, not sure. I need to read the book. I've just bought it off Amazon. It's 99p on Kindle today. The link is in the comments. Get buying it, yeah. And was that some of them pay you dividends?
Yeah.
I was like, wowzers.
Sexy. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a whole chapter on stocks and shares, and actually stocks and shares, the words are interchangeable. They mean slightly different things in the US than they do here, and I've explained that in the book, so I won't bore you with it now. But the dividends, there's 4 different types of stocks, and one of them is called a dividend stock. And you buy the stock and you own the stock, but because you're a shareholder, in the same way that if you're a shareholder of a limited company like we all are, when that company's performance is good, we as shareholders get a payout. So, you know, Coca-Cola is one of those companies. There's a company called Altria. There's a company called Jupiter. These are all the ones that I get dividends from. There's loads. Yeah. Dividend stocks, just basically every quarter, some cash pops into your bank account.
No, I didn't believe it. I was like straight over there to buy some.
And what I do is any dividends that I get, and again, I can't give investment advice. I'm not an investment advisor, so please don't take this as advice ever.
Me neither, by the way.
But what I always do is that dividend in my mind's free money. So I've not really earned it. I haven't had to do anything for it. It's like the truest passive income that there is, like actual passive income, not the passive income you have to work for.
Not the fake kind.
Not the fake kind. And so I'm like, right, okay, I've had, I don't know, £50 come in. I'm going to just reinvest that back straight into my pot, which then next month, that £50 will be a higher dividend. And then again, it goes back in and then it'll be higher again. So for me, my investment strategy personally for me is like a long-term hold strategy. And that because dividends are a big part of what I invest in.
Yeah, I was like, cool. I was like, let me go and buy some. Yeah, and a bit like you, I was like, yeah, just invest it back in. I don't want to think about it. Love that. Okay, so what I love about you, Sarah, and I don't want to assume your gender right now, but you are a lady, identify as a woman, correct?
Correct.
And I think that's a massive deal. It's a massive deal. There's so many pale male, stale, investment-y, many
the toffee old fuckers. That's our
mansplaining men.
Mansplaining things, yeah. I think
so. You can see a young woman who looks like me. Well, actually, does look a bit like me. But yeah, like a young woman who looks like me, who talks like me, straight down the line like me. It's like, this is exciting. This is, for me, I'm like totally blinkered. I just, whatever Sarah says, I'm in. You know, and we've met and we've worked together into various different things. And I know that you're like legit as fuck, right? Like there's a difference.
As I can be.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so, I guess I get this feedback, like, it's so refreshing to meet somebody who's just normal and down to earth and tells it as it is. And in my head, I'm thinking, how can that be like
how can you be anything but that?
Yeah, how can you be anything but that, right? But
sounds like hard work.
Yeah, but it's true though. Not everyone is like you.
Yeah.
Particularly in your thing. So when we would work together, when you came to mind for that day, I was like, God, get this on the stage. You know, I want to see this on a stage. I want to see this really focused on, women, money, business money, investment money, not just the property. I know you're big in the property world, but like,
yeah, I think most people are expecting me to write a property book.
Yeah, and I think property for the average Joe is a bit of a leap because they're like, maybe not got their own house.
Yeah,
it's a big step up, and it's scary and feels scary and overcomplicated, whether it is or not. I mean, I'm an accidental.
Well, there's a chapter in the book about property as well because I do believe in property, but I think that there is so many other ways that you can get started, because genuinely there are some barriers to getting into property. You either need to raise the money or have the money to buy houses.
Yeah.
Or you need to have a reasonably good credit file to be able to get finance if you're going to be the person that's got to like refinance and pay people back. So there are things that impact your ability to progress in that space. There's ways around it, but actually if you've not got the time or headspace, so you've got a job, a career, a business that you love that's not over here in property, then that's a lot of time, effort and energy. Whereas you might have a spare £100 a month. You're not going to be able to buy a house with that, but you absolutely could buy dividend stocks with that. And you could buy stocks with that every month for the next 20 years and actually be in a really good position. Like in the book I've done, there's like matrices that you can see. I call it a fuck you money fund, because that in my mind is having enough money to be able to say fuck you if I don't want to do stuff. That's like where I want to be. And if you can read the book to get the actual formulas for this, but it will tell you, like, if you want to earn 100 grand a year, it'll tell you exactly how much pot you need and what interest rate you need to have it invested at annually to be able to earn that money passively. And I just simplified it all.
Well, this is it, right? I always say I don't want to be doing Facebook Lives when I'm 50. No. So like I've got a 6-year plan to deliver the most amazing LinkedIn and business mastermind people I've ever seen, and that legacy I'm sure will live on, with my name above the door. But I'm not going to be doing lives in there all the time, like in 5 years, 10 years time, definitely. But I don't want to be, what else will I be doing? I want to be not having to work, really. So as in like show up and do sort of work. So it's like, tell me, what do I need to do in the next 6 years to make sure that I've got 100 grand coming in every year so I can go to the Bahamas and enjoy
in the book, there's some links to like a resources website, so everybody will be able to download our compound interest calculator, which you can put in the amount of money you've got, what interest rate you are happy to invest at, and for how long, and it will tell you how much that will be worth, what its future value will be worth. So you'll be able to see exactly how that makes sense. It's just, I think the thing about money is that lots of people just don't think, like, they think about it and they worry about it and they stress about having not enough of it, but they actually don't strategize about it. Like, especially business people, like we strategize in our businesses about how we make money, but then often we get it and we've got no fucking idea what to do with it, and so it just disappears as quickly as it came. And the way you manage your money is kind of the starting point. People that are in debt, you've got to clear your debt before again, there's a chapter about whether you should clear debt first or whether you should invest first. And the answer is it depends on what your interest rate is. And I've given all the formulas to work this out to be able to say clear debt or invest first. And if people just take more interest in actually how their money is working, like even if it's a tenner, like what is that tenner doing? What is that £100 doing? What is that £1,000 doing? Honestly, the difference it can make is insane.
This is what everyone needs to know. Like, listen to what Sarah's saying. It's like, and this is why the book's great. So tell me about the process of writing a book, of somebody who has a post-it note that says, write the damn book on it.
Write the damn book.
So talk to me about the process. How's it been?
I actually found it really hard to write a book because I started writing a property book. That's the truth of the matter. I started it and I was just bored writing it. I didn't enjoy what I was writing. And when I was writing it, I thought, I can't believe anyone will enjoy reading this. I don't really see that I'm doing anything that's different to what is already out there. So I took a massive break and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, you know what? And a lot of people in my head, people around me, friends, family, etc., like, you've got to write it, Sarah. Like, you know a lot of stuff. And I don't know why I know a lot of stuff. I think I'm just a curious person. You've got to get that down on paper. So the process it started off quite difficult. And like when I'm coaching people, I say break stuff down into smaller bite-sized chunks. Instead of worrying about the book, worry about, what are the chapters that you want to write. So I just wrote a list of 14 chapters, and then I just started to write it, and it kind of came together. But when I was writing it, it took on a bit of its own kind of, what the finished book is not really the book that
Yeah.
I thought I'd write. I think it's better than the book that I thought I'd write. I thought I'd
Nice.
write quite a technical book, and it isn't. It's actually a really
Okay.
easy to digest book.
Got into the flow of it.
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, I'm really looking forward to reading it.
Thank
And
you.
it's even more exciting because I know you.
Where to hear my tone and all the words.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be able to hear. I don't need the audible. I can hear your voice in my head whilst I'm reading it,
Yeah.
which is amazing. So it's 99p on Kindle for today only, is it? Today?
Correct. Yeah. There are some bonuses. So if you buy, everyone who buys a copy, if you just send me a screenshot on Facebook, however you want to send it to me, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, we'll get a virtual training that I'm going to do later in the year for everybody that wants to come on and do it. Anyone who orders 3 copies is going to get a ticket to come to our in-person book launch party that we're going to do in January, which is like we're just going to have a party and celebrate it all. And anyone who buys 10 copies, which I know is a bit of a stretch, but it is Christmas coming and all that. Anyone
children to give it to, yeah,
absolutely. I'll do a one-to-one call with each of those people. You need to just send me the evidence of the Amazon order, and I'll jump on a Zoom with you, and we'll talk about. I can't give you investment advice, but I can talk about how you can take the concepts in the book and actually implement them, and I'll move you in the right direction. So, yeah, 99p. Please buy it. It'll be worth it. I promise you.
Yeah, you will get an ROI on that.
You absolutely will. 100%.
Amazing. Yes, and buy some hard copies and distribute them to your friends and family for sure. Yes, because it is a conversation we need to be having, and I think things like this are part of that. Let's all talk about like money is not a dirty word. It's a very important part of our lives on this human plane. So we need to embrace it, enjoy it, have fun with it, and invest it and look after it and be kind to it so we can have more of it.
Yeah, and like put it to work so you're earning more money off the money that you've got without having to work for it.
Yes, because we don't want to have to work hard to make money. We want to make our money work hard for us.
Yes, exactly that.
Amazing. Right, thank you very much, darling. Everybody buy it and buy 10 and get a one-to-one sale. That's like worth about £1 million. So go and get it. Right, lots of luck with the launch. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.